men, one government, and an award that no pop group had ever been offered inside the walls of a 700-year-old palace. Most bands get a plaque at a press event, a handshake in a conference room, maybe a framed certificate in a hotel lobby. BTS got a private tour of the Mexican National Palace, a meeting with the president, and happened, and why it matters far more than the headline suggests, is something the entertainment industry doesn't want you to think too hard about. Because when a government starts handing official awards to a Korean boy band, you have to ask, what exactly did they do to deserve it? And the answer to that question cuts straight to the heart of what BTS actually is, and what no record label, no PR machine, and no Western music executive ever fully understood about them. Let's go back to where this started. BTS has performed in Mexico before. Their last concert at the Foro Sol Arena, one of the largest outdoor venues in Latin America, was 8 years prior. 8 years. And yet the one why their global fan base never moved on. While the group was completing mandatory military service in South Korea, the Mexican fan base didn't shrink. It grew. Fan events kept happening. Streaming numbers held. And when news broke that BTS was returning to Latin America, the crowd outside Zocalo Square, the massive public plaza at the heart of Mexico City, right outside the National Palace, filled up before the boys had even stepped out of the building. That's not normal fan behavior. That's a cultural movement. And someone in the Mexican government noticed, here's what the cameras captured and what most international outlets barely covered. BTS was personally welcomed inside the National Palace, the building that has served as Mexico's seat of government since the Aztec Empire. 700 years of history. Former presidents' portraits lining the walls. A building that has hosted kings, diplomats, and that image alone should have been front-page news. It wasn't. But the moment that matters, the moment the cameras caught, came when an official stepped forward and presented the group with a formal recognition scroll. Distinguished visitors, it read in Spanish. A recognition from the Mexican government. Not from a music magazine. Not from a streaming platform. From a sovereign nation. Voice clearly in disbelief said, "We got an award. Bravo. Bravo. Thank you." Now here's what that moment actually means, because this is where the mainstream coverage goes completely quiet. The Zocalo Square concert isn't just a tour stop. Mexico City's Central Plaza is one of the largest public squares in the world, and it is considered a national cultural landmark. Having a concert there is not simply a booking, it requires government approval. It tells you that somewhere in Mexico City, someone made a deliberate decision to treat this group not as foreign pop stars, but as cultural ambassadors. And that framing changes everything. Because what we witnessed inside that palace wasn't a fan moment. It was a diplomatic one. When BTS told the president through a translator that they were happy to be back, and when the president replied that she looks forward to seeing them next year, that was not small talk. That was a standing invitation from a sitting head of state. The last time that happened. While all of this unfolded, the members themselves were doing what they always do, being exactly who they are. Noticing the 16 cats roaming the palace gardens, remarking on how beautiful the grounds smelled. J-Hope wandering off somewhere and being called back by his bandmates. The group debating, with genuine enthusiasm, whether they should sing Airplane PT, too near a mariachi band. RM commenting that a place this beautiful would make you want to. Heads of state on one side, genuine personal warmth and absurd humor on the other, is precisely what no PR team could manufacture. And it's precisely why governments like Mexico's respond to them differently than they respond to any other act in the music industry. The award wasn't for album sales. It wasn't for streaming numbers. It was for showing up, consistent, and making Mexico feel like it mattered. Not as a tour market, as a place, as people. But here's the part of this story that still doesn't have a clean answer. BTS returned from mandatory military service, a sacrifice that no Western artist has ever been asked to make. and stepped back into a world where the global entertainment industry had moved on without them. New groups had debuted, algorithms had shifted, attention spans had tightened. And yet the first major international moment of their return wasn't a streaming record or a chart debut. It was a government award inside a 700-year-old palace, with a head of state personally walking them through the halls. That means something. It means the music industry measures power in downloads, in the kind of loyalty that survives absence, in the kind of connection that fills a public square without a single promotional push. And the question no one in the industry is publicly asking is this: if a foreign government is formally recognizing a music group as distinguished palace and were handed an award by a president while their fans waited outside in the square? Drop your thoughts below. And if you're here for the stories the industry doesn't want trending, subscribe to Celebzova. More is coming.